Good afternoon, fourth graders. This is the math lesson for Tuesday, April 28th, and it is section 8.12, titled Interpreting Data. We're on page 236 and 237. Remainders, it's no different than what we've done before, but remainders are the extra leftovers, I say, after what we do after we group everything. Now, those remainders are still important. And depending on the question, you got to determine what you're going to do with that remainder. There are three ways you can interpret that. You can either A, let's say you got an answer of 5, remainder of 3. You can maybe round it up to 6. You can keep step number 2, option 2, keep it the same, leave it as 5, remainder of 2, or whatever I just said, I can't remember. Or you can drop it. If it's 5, remainder 2, just leave it as 5. But it has to depend on the question they're asked. So let's get right to this. Look at the top of page 236. It gives us a situation. A church group is going on a whitewater rafting trip. There are 29 people going on the trip. Everyone will be placed in a small group of no more than 5 people. Because there will be no more than 5 group in a group, divide 29 by 5 people. So they kind of tell you what you're going to do in that question. So since we know it's a whitewater trip and everyone has to participate, but there's a limited amount of seats per boat. That's just the way it is. Boats only can hold so many people. If you go over that capacity, the boat can sink and capsize. So if a boat says no more than 6 people or it has a weight limit of 450 pounds, you have to follow that. I know that because I own a boat. You only can have my boat can only hold up to no more than 5 people at 450 pounds total. Well, maybe I think it's 650. I can't remember. I would have to go out in the boat and look at it. But let's go over this. So we know there were 29 people, and each boat could only hold 5 people. So put that down. 29 people, only 5 per boat. Oops, I forgot the A. So let's do our division. Our steps, I'm not going to go over this. We've gone over this over and over again, so let's just go right to it. Let's look at our divisor. Look at the first number in the dividend, which is a 2 and the 29. 5 is bigger than 2, so it cannot work. So we need to go 5, move 2 over to the 9, make it a 29. 5 can go into 29, so let's do our problems. If you are good on your multiplication facts, let's just, instead of just starting at 5 times 1, start a higher one. I'm going to start with 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 6 is too big because 30 is bigger than 29, so we need to go to 5 times 5. So we're going to do that. Put the 5 above the 5. Step 2 is multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. Step 3 is subtract it. 9 minus 5 is 4. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So your answer would be 5, remainder of 4. So we need to figure out what option we're going to do. Are we going to round it? Are we going to keep it the same? Or are we going to drop it? So let's start with, I'm going to start down and work our way up. If we drop it, what's going to happen to 4 people? Because we know 25 people can only go safely 5 into each of those boats, but there's 4 left over. So we kind of have to keep it the same. All right. But they're there. So what are they going to do? Are they going to swim? Are they going to float in the water? So we kind of have to round it. So we know we need at least 5 boats. But since there's 4 remainders, we need to have an extra boat. So that boat's not going to be full capacity at 5. That boat will only have 4 out of 5 people. So what we need to do is need to round that up to 6. So you need 6 boats. 6 boats total. All right, because remember, there's 29 people on that trip. They all paid for whitewater rafting. It's only 5 boats. Only 5 people can fit in a boat. So when you do the division, the 5 capacity divided, 29 people divided by the 5 boat capacity, you get 5 boats, but there's a remainder 4. So we need to figure out what to do with those remainder 4. So we need to round it up and give them an extra boat. That boat's only going to have 4 people, but we need it. So you have to interpret that. You need to figure out what you need to do. So the steps are round it up, keep it the same, like 5 remainder 4, or you drop the 4. If we drop it, where are those 4 people going to go? All right, tonight what I want you to do, 236 is the bottom, work on the problems on the bottom, but as a family, and on 237, there's 1 through 6, do what we did yesterday, pick 4 of them. If you have any questions,